Yeah, you know I'm a problem. 816 goblin, monster. Honest to God, call me an odd one. I'm on one. Fill up the wagon, no honor, mama. Look in your eyes, it's so solemn. Falling further and further, can you help me crawling? Nowhere to go, I give up, I'm a goner. Nowhere to roam, my ship's stuck in these waters. Father to God, can you help me call? Feeling like I'm out of control. Feeling like I'm losing my soul. Somebody pray, please, somebody save me. This ain't the way that my mom and dad raised me. Tell me you're not dreaming, please, somebody shake me. Who would have thought it would end this crazy? Doses. 1 and 2 will turn into more. Voices. 3, 4, 5 and I'm feeling for more. About to dance with the devil today. She got me feeling some type of way. I think I might pick a fight with my wife. Get a pipe, throw my life away. Your boy's cold. An offshore wind at the bottom of the bottle and the floor spins. And the haze mixed thoughts of abortion. I drown them out, drink more of my distortion. Another sad song, another war hymn. Lost more friends, more endorphins. A divorce ends and the Lord grins. And I'm stuck doing coke in New Orleans. I'm atrocious. Turning the more voices. 3, 4, 5 and I'm feeling for more doses. Feeling like I'm out of control. Feeling like I'm losing my soul. 1 and 2 are turning the more voices. 3, 4, 5 and I'm feeling for more doses. Feeling like I'm out of control. Feeling like I'm losing my soul. Oh shit, we got 3rd degree in this motherfucker. Yeah, K to the R, you know what's up, man. That's what it is, man. I tell the bartender not to spill my drink. That's right, man. I need that shit full to the brim, you know what I'm saying? Feel this shit though. Yo, I hit the bar with my pockets swole. Ain't trying to drop a flow. Which you ain't see me with my brim tipping sockets low. I'm trying to get my drink on, that's how we rock and roll. You drinking like we drink, boy, make sure your cup is full. You see me in the club, but I ain't here to dance. Your girl smiling at me, shit, I'm just here to glance. Sipping that silver 7, dripping, you got to go. We snatch your bitch and make her pop, lock and drop it low. No, don't try me, I'm tipsy. You run your lips and get hissy. Me, I don't think you really want it with me. I'm saying, you think we playing, we ain't. What it is ain't no game. Shit, it's cool if you hang, but if you swerving our lane, we get to chopping quick. That's if you're talking shit. I warned you once, we ain't the ones you should be fucking with. We 20 deep, partner. You know that's how we roll. We take it toe to toe, lock and load, blow for blow. You see me at the bar while you trying to act hard. Don't be coming at me, running your lips. Don't want it with me, what it is. I'm finna get my drink on. What it is, I'm here to get my drink on. You see me in the club and your girl show us love. Don't be coming at me talking that shit. Don't want it with me, what it is. I'm finna get my drink on. What it is, I'm here to get my drink on.
What it is, I'm drinking goose and getting illy. Shit, I'm ready for the drama. If I hate her acting silly, I got a little pilly, but the cannon's in the truck. So if I make it to the Chevy, then somebody's fucked up. But right now I'm going hard, 3rd focused on the stallion. I'm a baller, baby, so I brought a couple thousand. Nope, I ain't gon' blow it on you. I'm the red cup king, so I'ma blow it on Goose. I can't help but notice that suckers in they feelings and they been eyeing reckless since we came in the building, but it don't really bother us, man. We on some real shit, really trying to chill, but we can make it ugly real quick. We here to drink, so we gon' get our drink on. They bumping gums, then we gon' get our bang on. What it is, tell me what it's gon' be. Nigga out of bounds, 40 calories, what he gon' see?
You see me at the bar while you trying to act hard. Don't be coming at me, running your lips. Don't want it with me, what it is. I'm finna get my drink on. What it is, I'm here to get my drink on. You see me in the club and your girl show us love. Don't be coming at me talking that shit. Don't want it with me, what it drink on. What it is, I'm here to get my drink on. We buy a drink at the bar and tell them leave the bottle. This ain't no role model type of shit that you should follow. I'm feeling good, don't be trying to break my buzz, baby. I'm way too lit for that drama, even if I was crazy. We get it poppin' when I'm rolling with third. Fuck the table, we the ones to drink you out to the curb. Don't be mad cause your girl wanna party with some rock stars who hit the block hard. Pussy ain't no Pop-Tarts. We make it pop hard, feel the effects. Taking shots to the head like it's Russian roulette. See, we ain't come to fight and let off, just here to take the edge off. But if you trippin', we won't hesitate to take your head off. You know the name, you can see it on my back. Know the voice, you can hear it on the track. Do it live, ladies. Go on and get your freak on. Put your cups up. Go on and get your drink on. See me at the bar while you tryna act hard. Don't be coming at me running your lips. Don't want it with me. What it is, I'm finna get my drink on. What it is, I'm here to get my drink on. You see me in the club and your girl show us love. Don't be coming at me talking that shit. Don't want it with me. What it is, I'm finna get my drink on. What it is, I'm here to get my drink on. Yeah, man, that's what it is, baby. Hey, you see me at the bar, you see me at the club, man. We eyeing me and shit. You know what's up, man. That's what it is in this motherfucker. 2008 shit, man. We ain't playing neither, boy. Let's go. Now you can find me with my eyes slow, riding low, passenger side, gotta make them heads start turning while I'm passing them by. Soon as I step up on the scene, I see that look in your eye. I tell them they don't really want it, nah, they don't really want it. Back up off this kid, let your lid. Shit, they say I'm off the grid, toss your bid, I stick your mid. Ain't nobody else do it like I did. I get that green, you know my style. Know how the fuck I break this down. I make it pound when I hit your town. I kick that crown, we don't dick around. I'm in this main. Yeah, you see me. Other rhymers wanna be me. Big timers, big signers call my phone and say they need me. Cause we bring it hard, every track, every bar, every time, every rhyme. But when I bring it up, better get mine, I ball, man. From the go, never act like you ain't know. I ain't playing bad, I bring it, no, I mean it from the flow. Overdrive, every show, high speed, never slow. Never fall, never fade, never pay to play a show. I keep it gutter, we always grind, and you can find me in the back of the club, we sit with something shiny. I'm on that silver 7, super do it, I can do it, baby, all bets off. It's on when I sets off. Set it off, set it off, set it off, set it off. You can roll if you wanna, but you know you're gonna have to let it ride, let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. When the chips on the table, hope you able enough to let it ride, let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. When the chips on the table, hope you able enough to set it off, set it off, set it off, set it off. You can roll if you wanna, but you know you're gonna have to set it off.
Tycoon, yes, I hold down my city. From the middle where the map you dudes is silly. You act like you don't know me, but you keep jocking us. Real talk, no game, so put your whistles up. Game over, not flip, you talking crazy, get flipped. Not the sock, I hear the flows that will leave you a cotton mouth. Hey, crib when I enter, these lames know what I claim. It's a shame if they don't, I have a sprint to the center. Grind for me, get it cracking, fresh 2-3s on the feet and jeans, you never see me slacking. The killer city keep lyrics that boggle minds. On the fit in 2 letters and ain't no joke, but man. Fella dogs, DT, one way, my entourage straight deep kids, so don't play. Next time you in the neck of my woods, just wait, I'll show you cause I am the stakes, yeah.
Set it off, set it off, set it off. You can roll if you wanna, but you know you're gonna have to let it ride, let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. When the chips on the table, hope you able enough to let it ride, let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. When the chips on the table, hope you able enough to set it off, set it off, set it off, set it off. You can roll if you wanna, but you know you're gonna have to set it off, set it off, set it off, set it off. You can roll if you wanna, but you know you're gonna have to let it ride.
Good afternoon. Welcome back in for another broadcast of Outlaws Media Group out here at Center High School once again for another MRFL doubleheader action. This week is it's a little bit different for these guys down here. It's the week before playoffs, so there's a little bit different feeling down here. A little more fans in the stands, a little more pop on the field. Should be a fun one. This first game should be entertaining. Should be a very well contested game anyway. These two teams should be going at it. Both of them are trying to get wins headed into their playoff run. The second game of the doubleheader is going to be the big event this evening. It's going to see the Reapers take on the Chiefs. That game is going to be one I'm kind of curious to see. I'm friends with a lot of these guys on Facebook. A lot of these guys follow the Outlaws page, so I've been seeing some of the talk this weekend about those guys. Some of them are saying starters may be benched because in anticipation of that being the championship game. Other guys were saying, heck no, we're going to go 100%, and we're about to give the Chiefs their first loss in 2 years. So Facebook talk is always a little bit different than what actually takes place on the field. Obviously, we know the coaches are going to get that last call, so I'm excited. Stay tuned for this doubleheader. Guys are lining up again. For those of you who are just tuning in, who aren't familiar with this league, they play... Only us real fans. Yes, it is a little bit hot. Hopefully these clouds stay blocking the sun out. It's a little overcasted. But again, thank you for tuning in with us again. We'll see you here at least for the first couple hours. For everyone just tuning in, they're going to play some XFL rules on the kickoff. So you're going to have to see this kick be placed at the 40. It's got to clear the 20, make contact with the ground, or be fielded before the kicking coverage team can actually run. If it does not clear the 20 in the air, it is then deemed an illegal kick and placed at the 40. So I've been seeing some issues trying to get this ball to clear the 40. We're about to see how today starts. Again, game one, MRFL action, final week action. The Independence Militia is kicking to the Johnson County Giants. Kick is up. Looks like it has enough. Fielded cleanly at the 16, and we're underway. Around to the left-hand side. He'll be met right around the 31 yard line, I believe, is where they're going to spot him. The Giants are going to take over possession, open this game. Again, for those of you tuning in, these games kind of run a little bit quicker than usual. They play a running clock until you're inside of the final 2 minutes of each half. And the clock will only stop during timeouts and change of possession. So you'll see these guys, there's a little more sense of urgency about what they're doing on and off the field. Another big difference you'll see is these guys do not have headsets in their helmets. So you're going to see in between plays, there's going to be either a substitution of personnel or somebody will run to the sideline to get the next play and then run it back out. So you'll see guys substituting relatively often out here. That way they can get the play calls into the huddle. And then you'll see them take their time in the huddle. The only team that I've seen run a no huddle out here would be the Chiefs, and you'll see them a little bit later this evening. By umbrella, I'm guessing you mean the big American umbrella right in front of us. It's the only umbrella I see. It's a little bit different formation than we saw out of the Giants last week. They got a tight end. They're out of the trips bunch this time. It looked like there was a mix-up there on the snap, possibly. But last week we saw them in a trips bunch, and all they did was switch back and forth. So I'm curious to see if maybe they dialed up a little something different. Giants are going to come back to the line in that same formation. They got an extra tight end here on the near side. Single receivers, top and bottom. That's a false start. Two running backs in the backfield, and he's under centers. Looks to be a different quarterback than I remember last week. It might not be. Gonna bring up a 2nd down and 16 after that false start. Again, these two teams, this should be a very well contested game on the field. It should be a pretty close. I'm anticipating it being pretty close down to the end of the game. Should be a good battle here to watch for these guys. Giants break the huddle. Number 17, Joseph Seba, under center. A pitch to the left. Cut back up the middle. Carry there by number 28, Kyle Cambrese. It's going to bring it back to the just around the original line of scrimmage to bring up a 3rd down and about 10. It's hot. For those of you who aren't in this area, it's hot. It's hot in the booth. It's hot in the stands. It's hot down on the field. That turf kind of brings up the temperature a little bit. For those of you who play football, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Current temperatures sitting around 83, 84 degrees right now. So it wouldn't surprise me to be on the field if temperatures are soaring around 100 or so, maybe more than that. Sucks the energy out of a lot of these players. It sucks you're going to see a lot more injuries, possibly a lot more cramping. So it's a lot to ask of these guys to get out here in the heat of the day, put on the pads, and get to work. You're going to see a 4th down and 10 here from the Giants. Giants are calling for punt. I can kind of hear it in the booth. So good stand here by the Militia. They're out here trying to do their thing, kind of getting a feel for what's going on. Kind of saw the same thing with these two teams last week. Both of these teams the last 2 weeks have been in the game, both of their opponents in that first quarter. And it was the inability to make adjustments that kind of was their demise for both of these organizations. They were in the game for the first quarter and a half, and as the other teams made adjustments, these two teams were unable to make those adjustments. Today, I feel like they're going to be a lot more evenly matched up. So this should be a very fun game to watch. Appreciate every one of you guys for tuning in. I know there's 18 of us in here right now tuning in. Again, for every one of you guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out here on a Sunday afternoon. There's plenty of stuff you guys could be doing, but you're taking the time, whether you're in here for a minute, whether you're in here for an hour, whether you're in here all evening with us. I appreciate every single one of you guys for sitting in, tuning in, hanging out with us. Militia's in the huddle. You seen the quarterback there running late, getting the play call. They're going to break the huddle and take their first possession just about the 32-yard line. You're going to see a trips bunch again to the far side. Single set down here, the near side. This is the exact same formation they ran 99% of the time last week. Last week he favored that inside post route. This week he goes to the outside right away. Huge link up here. See if I can get you a number. That's what we were talking about last week. They were so keyed in on the inside post route. They forgot all about the outside route. Number 5, immediately Austin Accord links up. Huge gain all the way down to about the 12-yard line. That gets him fired up. I wish I had a name for the quarterback to give you, but he's got a blue practice type jersey on. Same thing he's had last week. So I'm unable to give you a name for that young man, but he finally, same formation, he finally looked outside, found his man streaking wide open down the right-hand side. Huge gain. These boys are fired up. They're ready to rock and roll. 3 receivers out to this near side. Same formation we just saw, flip the sides. Adjustments being made here at the line. Look left. Quarterback kind of loses his hand on the ball. He's going to run. Taken down at the 20. I know this young man really, really wants to win. It's clear he wants to win, but that's one of those plays that you kind of throw the ball away and you live to see another day. But with his decision to carry the ball, that's going to be a loss of 8 yards. and bringing up a 2nd down and long. Now, they can get a 1st down if you see on the camera. They can get a 1st down inside the 2-yard line, but they've got a way to go to get there. Andrew popping in with the emoji. My friend. Drew Murray. Let me see if I can't find that on the chart here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, that's been a guy, number 6, I guess, is the original jersey number here on the roster. See if I can't get me a highlighter and mark that down. Meanwhile, number 24, Rajon Larimore on the carry around the left-hand side. That's going to bring up a much more manageable 3rd down here. 3rd down and about 7.5, 8 yards. How about that number 56? Andrew, how's that knee doing, buddy, old pal? I know you don't have anything better to do than hang out with us. Pass thrown to the right-hand side. Number 5. watching their celebration out here. Number 5, Austin McCord with a touchdown. For the 3rd week in a row, again, I don't know if they use kickers. I don't know if that's against the rules or if it's just what they have to operate with, but you're going to see them line up here and go for the 2-point conversion. Looking right. Little pass out to the flats. He's fighting. Drugged down by a host of Giants there. That 2-point possession is going to be no good. Because the heat, you're going to see, I just got on the mic. The mic just got, the refs on the field have a mic up here in the booth. They said due to the heat, they want these guys to take their lids off, kind of water them down again. Again, it's extremely hot on the turf. Temperatures are soaring right around 85, 86 degrees right now. Down on the turf, you're probably looking at 100 plus down there. So they're going to take their time. They're going to make sure these guys get watered down any chance they get. Nothing against it. You see the guys are out down here sharing some water, so you're going to see that on and off throughout the evening here, at least as long as the sun's up. Sorry about that little quiet period. We're having an issue with the scoreboard. The scoreboard that we use here in the booth updated actually on our way here. So we're trying to figure out a little bit of the technical difficulties that are going on. If you see in the bottom right-hand corner, it used to say first quarter, but for some reason it doesn't say quarters anymore. It just says a number 1. And for whatever reason, the buttons that we usually use to update these scores are not working. So I have our assistant here. She's working on the technical side of things. So I'm running the camera and I'm talking to you guys. We're going to try to keep it as entertaining as we can. I'll update you if we cannot get this running right now. We'll try to shut it down at halftime and reboot it. Possibly wait until the break before or in between the 2 games. But we're trying, as we speak, to get these things updated. You know how technical stuff is. It updates when it wants to, and then you got to kind of fly off the hands there to try to figure it out. But that's with a quiet break that you heard. So I'm going to be running the camera, and I'm going to be talking. Looks to be a 3rd down and long here. 6 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock in the opening quarter. Militia is up by a score of 6-0 currently. Again, I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. It's going to be a hot one for these guys down on the field. We're up here in the booth. It's a little warm, but we got fans on us. It's a little bit shady, so we're kind of out of the elements, so to speak, for the most part. But I know these guys down here, they're extremely hot, especially these refs. They're out here allowing us to play the game that we love in full pants. I know these guys are hot as well. Heavy pressure. He was looking to try to pick up all those yards there on 3rd down under extremely heavy pressure, and down he goes again. Kind of a similar theme we've been seeing here the last few weeks. If you are able to load the box and leave your corners and DBs kind of on an island, so to speak, by themselves and trust them in one-on-one coverage, it allows you guys to overload the box, and this Giants offensive line has been struggling for the most part with picking up their assignments. You see it again there. This brings up another punt by the Giants. Kicking is always, like I said, in semi-pro. Kicking in any level of semi-pro is always kind of a adventure. The ball's going to take a generous bounce, and it's going to continue to roll down towards the 40, just outside the 40 at the 41. For a ball that was kicked basically at his goal line to switch fields, that gives him 60 yards off the foot. It's a good way to flip field position there, give his defense a little room to work with. Militia's going to come back out and take the ball up at the 41-yard line and see if they can extend the score here. Tempo, what's up, my friend? No, it wasn't just you. It was us. We're trying to figure out the scoreboard, so I'm up here holding the mic right behind you, holding the mic, running the camera. We're going to make it work regardless of what happens. We've still got to work through technical difficulties. Again, we've only been in business here for just at a month, and our system updated literally on the way here. We didn't know there was an update. We weren't alerted that there was an update. We just looked down as we were getting everything set for this stream and saw that we were in the middle of an update, and now we're trying to figure out exactly what the update was and what kind of controls it changed for us. But we're going to keep making it happen here. Trips here to the near side, single to the top. Snap is back, looking left. Fires left. There's that ball that we were looking at last week. That trip set and trying to find that skinny post route, if you will. If you look down to the outside route was wide open. Everyone kind of bunched up there in the middle, which is kind of the same thing you saw last week. As soon as he kind of settles down a little bit and trusts his players to make plays and trusts in his own ability, you're going to see him start looking more towards the outside routes, similar to that big play they had there on that first drive. As soon as they looked to the outside, and picked a different route than the inside man, that guy was wide open. Come back here in the same formation. This time they switched the running back off to his left. Big blitz comes off the right-hand side. Flag down on the far side. We're going to see what that flag is. But as it stands right now, he's going to get about a gain of 2 yards on the play. Check the flag. Looks like we're going to have an encroachment on the defense there. I believe they're going to accept this. That way they save themselves a down. And it'll bring up second down and should bring up second down and 5. That should be ball should be placed a yard ahead of where it's at, if I'm not mistaken. Should have been a 5-yard penalty, so it should be a yard ahead. Look at that. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. We're going to take the scoreboard down for now so we can get back and keep bringing you guys the action. Again, in between these two games, we're going to try to figure out exactly what happened there, but we're going to go back to live talking. We'll try to figure that out later, but again, appreciate you guys all for hanging out. First down and 5. Now they got the ball figured out. Quick pass, it was right. Little tunnel screen. It's going to bring them just shy of the sticks. They might have got there and give him the forward progress. Near side ref telling him to bring the chains. Far side ref finally makes that decision. First down, Militia. See, you get it. Yeah, she just looked down and saw that it was updating. So we're going to have to figure out that update. For now, we're going to take the scoreboard down so we can do a little maintenance on it. We'll get it back up. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Grinding. It's been a grind. It's been fun, though. We've had a couple colleges reach out and want to talk to some of these players that we've had on our coverages so far. I actually had a business call from a referral that one of the Reapers gave us this weekend to again, my first love is soccer, and we got a referral to a minor league soccer program that covers, they travel all over the Midwest, and they play pro indoor through the winter. So there's huge things coming. Again, this has been a month in the making. I don't even want to say this was my wife's idea from start to finish. I'm just trying to ride the wave of my wife's success, really. But there's so much going on in Kansas City and around Kansas City that involves semi-pro and just positive movements and a positive environment in our city. There's been a lot of negativity. There still is a lot of negative vibes in Kansas City, and just hoping to bring something that we can all kind of get behind and have fun with and kind of make a difference. And we can't do it by ourselves. It's going to take every one of us, and this is kind of what the idea behind this broadcast was, is to put a spot where we can all hang out together and make a positive impact on our city. Flags up. It looks like it's going to be on the defense. Ball thrown to the outside. Another flag. 3 flags on the field. I'm going to assume that was a pass interference on the far side. Feet kind of got tangled up. 2 number 24s. There's a tall number 4 and a small number 4. Take your pick. If anybody want to help me out on that one. So there's wait a minute. So the false start on the offense, which should have killed the play, and then so the pass interference should be null and void if that was a false start. Correct. So that play should have been blown dead. Meanwhile, it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 17. Ball's spotted directly on the 45-yard line. We have 3 receivers here, the near side, 1 on the far side. Clock's at a minute, just under a minute and rolling here in the opening quarter. Looking left. He's flirting with interceptions there again. Again, he keys the inside receiver. They kind of ran into each other a little bit there. Third down and 17 here from the 40. I foresee them being in a punt formation here if they get the snap off. I don't think they're going to get the snap off, and it's going to send us into the second quarter. 2, 1. Refs are going to let this play go. Big number 24. There's 2 number 24, so I don't know which individual that is, but that's going to bring him to a much more manageable 4th down situation. I'm assuming they're going to keep their guys on the field for 4th down. I'm also going to assume they're going to water these boys down again during this break, flip sides, and restart it. So we'll see you on the other side of this break. Again, appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us. Militia stays in it. Trips here to the near side. Single receiver on single coverage to the far side. Flag down. Big gain over the middle. Skips past receiver. One more. He picks up a huge block. And they're going to throw a flag on that as well. Not necessarily I agree. I don't necessarily agree with that second block. It was a big block. Kind of unnecessary, but it's football. Got to keep your head on a swivel there. It's a big block. Nothing malicious about it. Flag back at the line of scrimmage. As it stands right now, it's a 1st down, but we're going to have to check both of these flags. All right. Looks like they're going to back him up here. Tell him to try it again. It's going to be 4th down and 12. Just right on midfield. False start on number 23, Derek Kennedy there on the left-hand side. That's going to bring out the punt team here. Clock is rolling. 14 minutes and 30 seconds left. Independence Militia up 6-0 here in the second quarter of this ball game. Again, we're still working on our scoreboard app. For some reason, it's not connecting after that update that we had on the way here. So we're going to keep working on that and see if we can't re-get it to connect. Until then, anytime you guys wanted to see the scores, just drop it in the chat. I'll let you know the score. I've got it here on the scoreboard. It's working on my side. You guys just can't see it. There's been some big games here. MRFL is headed into playoffs here after this week. A lot of the other games, or the teams are in mid-season form. The MFL is actually headed down, getting ready for playoffs. They're actually going into their last week before playoffs start. Big games there. We're going to talk about those a little bit. Might even have some of those guys stopping by the booth later. It's a really exciting time for those who know semi-pro around the area. A lot of big pieces moving. A lot of pieces in general moving. We'll talk about that as the night rolls on. Punt's going to come down inside the 30. It's going to come back a little bit. Rolls out of bounds. I want to say around the 28-yard line. Giants can come out and take possession right about the 28-yard line. Zero audio. No, that was me again. Staff member, she's actually coming down to your right-hand side. She came up. She was bringing the rosters. They were as a roster update that we were getting brought to the booth because they were kind of busy when we walked in. So you'll see her. She's walking down the stands right now to your right-hand side. So that's all that was. It was us stepping aside to get some roster updates. She's actually headed down to the field to clear some things up. Again, earlier we were talking about there's two number 24s on the field, so we're just wanting to get the names right so we know who gets credit for which plays. Giants a quick pass over the middle there. I'm hearing the call in the booth on the radio. It's going to bring up a 1st down. Giants are moving the sticks here at the 39-yard line. Down by 6, score 6-0. Clock just hit 12 minutes and rolling. Giants break the huddle here. Looks like they're going to bring twins to the near side. He's going to go under center. Keep 2 running backs back there with him. Flag gets thrown on the far side. I'm going to guess that was a lineup in the neutral zone infraction over there. We'll wait to see the call. Exactly what we have here. So, Giants are going to pick up another 5 yards, and it's funny because if you guys tuned in with us last week, this is how they drove down late in the game. They were able to mix up their counts a little bit, and they've got probably 40, 45 yards of just false starts. Encroachment on the defense last week. So it kind of looks like they're taking a page out of that book. That's a free 5 yards. Anytime you can get free 5 yards, I'm taking it. Toss around here to the left side. Sorry, again, I had to step aside and write some names down. Getting some roster adjustments here. Nothing too major. Some personnel comes off the field. Number 61 here on the near side. Reaching at the back of his leg. Hopefully he's going to be all right. Thinking about a 3rd down and 8 here. Giants are trying to crack the seal on their half of the field and break into the other half of the field here for the first time. They have a little bit of work left here to be done before they can do so. 3rd down and 8, sitting in the huddle. Nine minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock and rolling here in the first half. Militia up 6-0. Again, sorry for those just tuning in, but the scoreboard app updated on the way here to the game, and for some reason it lost connection. So here goes a run around the right-hand side. Trying to peer through traffic and see who made that tackle. Too many. I want to say that was number 24, Mikey Holt, that on the stop there. Number 17, Joseph Seba, the QB, dials up his own number, rolls around the right-hand side there to bring up a much more manageable 4th down and about 4th down and 3. I don't think they're going to hesitate here. I think they're going to bring in bigger personnel, keep the quarterback in the game. Clock is rolling. Long huddle here to make sure they got everything dialed up. Make sure people know exactly what their assignments are. We're going to bring out looks like it's a trip set here to the left-hand side. He's going to step back in shotgun here. 1 receiver to the far side, 1 running back keeping with him here on the left-hand side. Looking right, little toss. Unable to complete the pass there to number 3, Rayvon Gilliam. It's going to be a change of possession. Big number 74 is down in the middle of the field. It's going to be Charlie Camp. Face first in the turf. Slamming his foot into the ground. That's not a good sign. These boys are going to get watered up. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to step aside. Again, we have plenty to talk about here tonight. We're going to continue to work on the scoreboard as well. Appreciate y'all tuning in with us here at All Owls Media. Seems to be back up on his feet, making his way off here the near sideline. For those of you who've never tuned in and watched a broadcast of a Sunday doubleheader action, or for those of you who've never actually been out to the MRFL games, it's a complete different environment out here. For me, as a guy who's been around semi-pro for a handful of years now in the Kansas City area, to see what these guys do on a setup on a Sunday, they are hands down ahead of the pack in terms of semi-pro football organizations and leagues, or just what they do off the field. If you've never had a chance to come see what these guys do, there's a system they have when you check in up front. The players have their own entrance. They've got to go to their own entrance. They check in on a roster. They have to be listed on the roster in order to be let through the gate in the players' entrance. No fans or spectators or anybody is allowed on the field unless you possess a staff badge, which you'll see some photography going on the field. Those have to be previously listed. It cannot be a game day edition. You can't just walk up and say, hey, I'm here to be a photographer. I'm friends of such and such. It's got to be something that's been organized prior so everyone knows who's coming. You check in and get your staff badge and go through the player entrance to get on the field. Everyone else, it's locked off. There's a complete different entrance for spectators and fans. So it makes everything extremely organized here. It keeps a lot of the nonsense off the field. And they've got you've seen the field cart a few times. This is the only league I've ever been in. If somebody goes down on the field, that field cart is there in less than 30 seconds, just in case anything needs to be looked at. A couple weeks ago, unfortunately, there was a young man that went down, a pass intended over the middle, same route, same target. A couple weeks ago, a young man went down on the field and needed to be taken off by ambulance, and he was on the field no more than, I would say, 2 minutes or so before they diagnosed that he needed an ambulance, and within 10 minutes, the ambulance was on site, rolled straight in, right down the ramp, right on the field. They were able to get that young man on a stretcher and get him straight to the care he needs. Usually when you're hanging out on the semi-pro fields on a Saturday, there's a lot of traffic you got to get through. He's down here taking photos on the field. But usually there's a lot of traffic they got to get through, a lot of personnel they got to get through. People try to move the guys that are hurt. So it's just a different environment. Hats off to these guys for what they do. Looking to the right-hand side, little option shovel pass. Number 3 says, I'm just going to get out of dodge. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10. Yeah, for you just tuning in, the quarter and the graphics for the scoreboard, everything, those were missing. They were up at the start of the game, and our system updated. We didn't get to catch it in time, so it updated and disconnected. So in between, this is actually a doubleheader for those of you that want to tune in. The next game kicks off at 6:30. We've got to disconnect from this stream to go back into the system and reboot the system to reconnect because of that update. The update knocked out the connection of our OBS software to our scoreboard software. So we've got to go through and reconnect that, but we would have to stop the stream in order to do that. So we're just going to bring you the quarter and the score here on the mic until we're able to do so. We might have to reboot at halftime if you guys are wanting to see it, but we'll probably just stay right here and reboot that in between the two games. Again, it's 6 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock, second quarter. Militia's on the ball up 6-0, trying to break it open here by a 2-possession game. Again, it was a update. Everything's been running fine. We can bring it up and overlay it on the screen so you can see the scoreboard, but the scoreboard on our side that we can control, we can add points, we can change the quarter, we can do everything, but the connection between us and the OBS software is failing because of the update, so we had to go back. The update actually happened as we were coming into the stadium, so we didn't catch it. We should have, if we would have caught it, we would have waited till to this evening to make that update, but that's how technology is, man. It updated on us, and we're going to make do. Again, Militia is on the ball for those of you that are just tuning in. The clock rolls in this league until you get under 2 minutes, so 5 minutes and 40 and rolling. Militia on the ball, 1st and 10, up by 6. Able to shed one tackle as he heads to the left-hand side. met by number 94, Cody Muchler. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage there, maybe lose a yard. They're going to mark him down as a 1 yard loss there. Bring up a 2nd down and 11. Clock rolling at 5 minutes. 6:30 for the next game. That is the scheduled kickoff. That should be a fun game, man. The Chiefs, MRFL Chiefs, are on the field taking on the KC Reapers. That's kind of been the go-to, so to speak, for this league. Chiefs have not lost in 2 years, from my understanding. Reapers have been the only team that's kind of contested those guys. That's been the championship battle for the last couple years. I'm assuming that might be the championship battle again this year, but you'll see them 6:30 kickoff, from my understanding, unless something changes. Trip set here to the near side. Single to the far. Steps back, looking over the middle. Looks to the left. He's got a man open. Flag down. Number 5, Austin Accord, makes the reception. Check the flag. The flag was thrown right where the reception was made. I'm going to assume there was some type of hold or maybe a push-off. If that's a holding on the defense, it's going to be declined, giving us a touchdown for the Militia. It looks like they're moving the ball. Touchdown, Militia. It's going to bring up 12-0 here. We're going to wait for the 2-point try. Again, for those of you tuning in, I've never seen a kick attempted in this that everyone stays in and goes for this 2-point try. So they're going to line up here. You got a running back in, trips to the far side. It's kind of an odd formation you see for a 2-point try. But here comes a snap. Looking left. Lob. Jump ball pass. Goodness. Young man goes up. We're going to call that getting mossed. I don't have a number to give you. He's got a blue jersey on, but Militia's going to go jump out to the lead here, 14-0. Quarterback Drew Murray is fired up on the sideline. I can hear him up here in the booth. Go ahead, young man. Have yourself a ball game. Yeah, so there's a software update again for those of you just tuning in with the scoreboard. It updated as we were coming into the stadium, and it knocked out the system. So the scoreboard software that we pay for lost connection to our OBS software. So I can still control it fine on my side. I can see it, I can update it, but it's not making the changes on your side for you guys to see. So we just took it off. We can put it back up there if you want to see the team's name. It just won't have the score changing or the quarter changing for whatever reason. So we're going to wait until after this next game to make that adjustment. That ball falls just short of the 20. For those of you tuning in, these guys play an XFL style kickoff rules. The ball's got to clear the 20 in order to be a live ball. That ball falls just short. So you'll see a flag come out for an illegal kick. Ball's going to be brought out to the 40. Giants are going to take their possession here at the 40-yard line with 4 minutes and 21 seconds left in the opening half. Militia up 14-0. I don't know if I can pin that comment, but somebody pin that comment. Someday I'll be famous and I can get like moderators in the chat that'll be able to handle all that stuff, because I don't know how to do that. Giants come to the line here for their next possession. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10, 4 minutes and 21 seconds on the clock in this opening half. Trailing 14-0. Looking left. Under heavy pressure. He's just going to take a seat. Down he goes. Sack on the play by number 23, Derek Kennedy. Clock continues to roll here inside of 4 minutes in this opening half. At halftime, we'll see what kind of adjustments we can make without having to shut down the stream, but I'm almost positive we'll have to shut down the entire stream, which we don't want to do in the middle of this game. So we'll probably have to wait till after this game, but we'll see if there's any adjustments we can make for this scoreboard here at halftime. 3 minutes and 30 seconds and rolling inside of this opening half. Giants find themselves in a big hole here on second down. Second down and 21. Twins to the top, twins to the bottom. Pass to the right-hand side. Nearly intercepted by number 24, Mikey Holt. That would have been a high-step thank you pick six if he was able to hold on to that. Yeah, we'll make some adjustments here at halftime. There's a couple options we have, but even if we've got to go in, we might just put a text box down there, throw in some scores for you, but we'll try to make something happen here at halftime. Big pass. It's got a receiver open. Unable to link up is number 12, Darian Blakeney. He had a step on the coverage. He was kind of wide open. Was unable to watch the ball into the hands. That would have been a huge gain right at the sticks. Clock's going to roll down here to the 2-minute warning. There it is. 2-minute warning. We're going to step aside and get some water. Let these guys do the same. We'll see you on the other side for these final 2 minutes of the opening half. Independence Militia leading 14-0. All right, so our software decided to update again, which is weird. So you should see an overlay now with the score and the scoreboard and the quarter. Should be popping up. What I don't like, which we're gonna have to go in and adjust, is the quarter used to say second quarter and third quarter and halftime and whatnot, but it just says a number 2. So it's an ugly number 2 in the bottom right-hand corner. But let me know if you guys can see it. There should be a scoreboard overlay now popping up. It just gave me a big flash on my screen that said update complete. So apparently we had an update. Hey, it's there. Appreciate it. It just gave me a big flash across my screen that said it was updated, and I knocked the mic over in a celebration. Thank you, technology. $31 viewers in here. Appreciate it, man. Every single one of you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Sunday evening. I know there's a lot of things that you guys could be doing, but hanging out watching some football is always a great choice. Ball's filled, a little shake and bake. Stiff arm action. Number 21, Savion Butner, is able to stick with him, make the tackle. Just shy of the 40-yard line. Clock's going to stop with 1 minute and 46 seconds left on the clock. Inside of 2 minutes here in the opening half. The graphic that you've seen flash across the screen, that's actually on us. It was yeah, my wife sets all that stuff up. So you'll see it as we transition into halftime as well. Before we start the music, you'll see that same transition. But up here in the booth, our entire screen flashed with an update complete sign. So apparently there was an update for the app, and then the system update itself was following right after that in the background that we didn't see. So, but it should be there. I'm not a big fan of the number 2. I don't like that update. So in between the games, we're going to see if there's not something that we can revert back to the old setup. I like the second quarter and the third quarter. So maybe there's a text issue there. We won't be able to see until halftime. We kind of get in and dig into those issues. But minute and 46 seconds on the clock. Militia on the ball, leading 14-0. Trips to the near side. Shotgun formation. Handoff up the middle. Big block by number 24 on the far side. Carry by number 24 around the left. Pickup of about 6. Clock is rolling at 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Again, for those of you that just tuning in, if this is your first time hanging out with us, in pregame and halftime, you'll hear some music playing. All those are KC-specific artists to Kansas City. If you're an artist or a musician in Kansas City and you want us to be able to have your music, if it's on Spotify, send us a message on the Facebook page. Find us on Outlaws Media Group. Find us on, send us a message. Let us be able to find your music. I'll update it. My wife will be able to grab it and put it onto our Spotify playlist. But everything we do, we're going to try to keep it Kansas City specific. As a timeout here is called by the Militia. We'll see if my timeout button works. Here's the first test. But yeah, halftime should be a show. You'll hear a lot of music. It's just solely Kansas City artists in the Kansas City area. I know my boy Chase, he's gonna have some new music coming out here soon. He gave me the access to. I'm not sure if he's released it yet. If it's released, he was supposed to be releasing it today. If it's released, we'll have it up there and you'll be listening to his music. Chase Ducats, find him on Facebook, find him on YouTube. Don Prolific, you'll hear a lot of his music. That's a combo of those two guys messing up the new music that I heard this weekend. Good stuff. Hopefully they go release that today so we can get it updated here at halftime, and we'll bring that straight to you guys as their debut here on Outlaws Media. And that's what we're trying to do, man. It's a full-blown Kansas City movement here. Look at that. My timeout button worked. We're back in action. Extra tight end in. Twins to the near side. Single set. Oh, no. Twin to the far side. I didn't see the young man they had in the slot. Looking left. Big ball over the top. He's got a receiver open. He adjusts, climbs the ladder, makes the catch. Is number 11, Greg Calvert. Somebody sign that, man. Move the chains. Timeout number 2 is called by the Militia. They want all the points they can have. Clock is stopped with 30 seconds left here in the opening quarter, or opening half. Heather, appreciate you hanging out with us. I'm assuming your nephew might be number 5, Austin Accord. Maybe, possibly. I don't know if that's a spelling typo on my roster, but appreciate you guys hanging out. Daryl, appreciate you hanging out as well, my friend. 30 seconds left on the clock here. Opening half. Well, Militia's looking to go up again. I'm going to have to send a message here to Chase and see if he's released that music yet. I sent him a little message earlier, see if he'd released it. I'll check here at halftime. Hopefully he's released it. I can snag that off of Spotify. Man open again. The adjustment made on the coverage there by number 1, Vintuan Quaring Jr. Almost did a little Odell Beckham action as a DB and hauled that in as an interception, but was unable to do so. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Clock does stop inside of 2 minutes here. So 24 seconds on the clock. 2nd down and 10. Number 5. See, I was right. On my roster here, I'm looking at has 2 C's, but I was right. He's had a big game. If you've been tuning in or if you haven't been tuning in, both touchdown grabs have been to that young man. So if you haven't been tuning in after this game, we'll upload this straight to YouTube. You can find us at YouTube, Outlaws Media Group. You can go back and watch this young man's replays. Tell him to grab his replays. If you click on, when you're watching it on YouTube, if you click the wheel in the top right-hand corner, you can adjust your graphic settings. There's the 3 dots at the top right-hand corner. Adjust your graphic settings to 1080, and you can watch that in high definition, and this man has been putting on an absolute show here this evening. Everyone spells it wrong. It's easy to put an extra C in there. Quarterback drops, looking right. Pass over the middle. Snag made by number 10, fighting for extra yards. Dives towards the 1st down marker. Timeout called. Again, stops the clock with 9 seconds left. So Militia now out of timeouts. 1st and 10 from the 16. Looking to run the scoreboard up just a little bit more here before halftime. Everyone spells it wrong. They do spell it wrong, but after tonight, maybe they'll start getting it right because this young man has had a big game. Again, both touchdowns came to him. Won't be surprised if they go back to him. Giants are going to play a little bit of prevention-type defense here. They're doing everything they can to keep this ball out of the end zone. Austin lines up on the far receiver. He's going to be the receiver to the top of the screen here. There's number 5. Twins the top, twins the bottom. Ooh. Ball start on Militia. That's going to back him up 5 here. It's going to give him a little more breathing room, actually. It's a little easier to work as an offense when you have a little more breathing room than when you're inside the red zone. So this might free up a couple more routes, a little more space for the wide receivers to work. Still 1st down, 15. Unable to get a hold of Chase, so hopefully this evening by game number 2, we'll be able to bring you his debut music. The first time you're hearing that music, hopefully I can get it to you guys and get that permission to release it. But until then, it's going to be unreleased music. Austin, number 5, lines up the top of your screen. Trips here to the near side. Here comes a snap. Looking right. Maybe a designed run play. Slam down. Militia called another timeout, I believe, but I believe they're out of timeouts. Unless I missed something. Maybe I missed something earlier, but I was tracking that was the 4th timeout. Maybe I'm wrong. A court. That possibly was it. So I'm being told maybe one of those previous ones was a water timeout at the 2-minute warning. So that might have been what it was, or just inside the 2-minute warning. Possibly. Either way here. 2nd down. This is going to be the last play of this opening half. Accord to the back corner. He's lined up there by himself. They got him in double covers. You got number 21 sneaking over the top to kind of lock that man down. So I'll be surprised if they go that way. But then again, he's a playmaker. He'll climb the ladder. Looking right. under pressure. Big sack. Right on cue. I hear the screams going. Big number 56, Eric Kangas on the sack, and that's going to take us into halftime. I'm going to step aside, grab some water, hang out with my kids for a little bit here in the booth, send you into halftime show with music brought to you straight here, authentic Kansas City. Appreciate y'all hanging out with the Outlaws Media. See you on the other side.
I'm Kansas City, but they call it Killer City. K-A-N-S-A-S-C-I-T-Y. Ask where I'm from, then they'll see my reply. I'm KC till the day that me die. Been reppin' 81691 Trace since I'm knee-high. I'm Paul Rudd. I'm Maurice Green. I'm Tech 9 Travis and Strange Street Team. Every night we pop. I'm Icy Rock. I'm DJ Fresh, DJ Rice. I might be Jock. I'm K-Rock. I'm a fallen soldier. A royal in the major league, so they all oppose us. Fort KC, Chief 68 Riots. I'm Gates and Sons, Jack Stacks and Arthur Bryant. I'm a real rider. Call me Shantae. I'm Killer City. Boop, boop, boop. Out a Hyundai. I'm the popper, the pretty face on a poster. I'm the plaza. P&L is on the roast. I'm Country View, where I'm known to post up. At the Bristol with Ron drinking on mimosas. Got a little sweet vodka, I'm already sipping. I'm Don Cheadle, Little Bobby, and I'm Eddie Griffin. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm Kansas City, but they call it Killer City. K-A-N-S-A-S-C-I-T-Y. Ask where I'm from, then they'll see my reply. I'm KC till the day that me die. Been reppin' 81691 Trace since I'm knee-high. Go chicken, go with them fire gizzards. I'm Kansas City Monarchs and the KC Wiz. I'm Holy Temple. I'm Bill McConnell. I'm Vonzell and Captain Vonzell throwing hella potties. Like I'm Romeo. Had a club called The Heart where many people were known to go. I'm Town Center, Crown Center, Sprint Center, Kemper Arena, Starlight, Independence Event Center. I'm Southeast Center, John Sams, Carol Green. I'm Brittany Atkins, Lincoln High School girls team. I'm the Gants, I'm the Duns, I'm the Bears, I'm the Willises and Dooleys. Rep for KC like I'm Paris. I'm Ant Peeler. I'm Joe Rainey, the Rush Brothers, Tyrone Lou, and all ballers that go Maney. I'm Jeff Dayton, Daryl Kearney plus Terrell. I'm Hogan High, so I'm Marcus Denman from the 12. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm KC. I'm Kansas City, but they call it Killer City. K-A-N-S-A-S-C-I-T-Y. Ask where I'm from, then they'll see my reply. I'm KC till the day that me die. Been reppin' 81691 Trace since I'm knee-high. I'm Lee Joe, D-Loc and Dilemma Flow. I'm the Chateau Lounge, Conference Cove and Chemicals. I'm the Bannister, the Landon, and Oak Park. I'm Longview Lake, Brush Creek, and Swope Park. R.I.P. Lunatic, my bro that got. I'm Janelle Monáe, Eminem and Joe that Watley. Hustling on 7-1, making pit stops. I be writing for a living like I'm Jason Whitlock. Get my shirt done by Dempsey or Steve-O, pumping like 40 Highway with Big T and Pizzo. Comment Sean Malto when I skate through. Out my window at the courthouse loft, there's a great view. I'm Fairyland Park, one day on a carousel. Carousel, Prospect, Truce, I'm Prendero and Parallel. I'm Nisi, plus I'm Peachtree. Call 816 and 913 if ever need to reach me. I'm KC. 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 I'm Kansas City, but they call it Killer City. KANSASCITY. Ask where I'm from, then they'll see my reply. I'm KC till the day that me die. Been reppin' 81691 Trace since I'm knee high.
Prayer to my guardian angel. Most angels smile. They look after you, protect you. My angels cry. Angel of God, my guardian dear. Ever this day, be at my side. Rule and guide me. KR, Daniel, tears of an angel. Let's go. I'ma speak real clear. No drugs, no drinking, so I hope you follow what I'm speaking when I rip this. Let me give this thing called forgiveness. One more shot, tell me, can I get a witness? I can look into the face of a sinner every time I take a look in the mirror. No fear when I ride this train, hide this pain. Wishing I could just disappear. Sometimes I cry. Tell myself looking back in my 25 years on this earth. Most days I try to be a better man with a better plan, get a better hand, but it hurts. See, I fiend for the worst. Dream and I curse. Speaking a verse, so in need of a nurse. When I walk alone, all on my own, when you're near, unclear what I hear, but at first, look it down now. Yeah, I can hear you calling, but I'm falling further away. Live my life in a day, don't let me throw it away. So I hope and I pray, but I keep sailing away. Put the nail in my grave, cause I don't follow your fate. See, the years went by and the tears I cried never did no good, so I'm dry now. You can see it in my soul, try to be an angel, but I fail, so why try to fly now? I can try to succeed, never spread my seed, but I bleed when I grieve, so it's clear now. Heard it rains when you cry, man, it's been raining for a long time, someone shed a tear for me.
I've heard people call this crazy maze life. I get no chance to do it over again. Is this the only one I get before I get dismissed? Man, do I get another continue to play and imitate the kid? Get my redo to do what I should have did or did what I didn't do. When I wanted to stack my own stack, backtrack, get my take backs to pick up the slack, retract and give me back the words that I didn't hold back, or say the words I've always held back in. Whether it's game on, game off, I'm running out of continues. I can't put the Nintendo Konami code in. My life blowing away like a leaf in the wind. I'm trying to outrun the next man. I'm in this to win. Gotta do what I gotta do to get the next chapter in my book to be continued. Yeah. My God. Damn, bet you what you have to do them like that.
Yeah, I'm who they wanna be. These niggas wannabes. Yeah, Fonzie, nigga. You know what the fuck going on? These niggas just wanna live like this, but they can't. Yeah, I'm who they wanna be. These niggas wannabes. They ain't got no cheese, these niggas just sleep. I be out the house, fuck it, I be out of town. You don't know the route, you ain't never sold a pound. Nigga call my phone, better know what's going down. Young Jock, keep a tray pound, niggas know the sound. We gon' shoot that bitch up, we ain't talking it out. These niggas do too much talking while they falling out. Niggas talking about a drought, bitch, we standing out. I had that shit up in the, I ain't saying it now. Yeah, get your ass to run around. You a broke pussy nigga tryna hang around. Yeah, you will bring the whole gang down. We ain't saying shit to these niggas, not a name around. Yeah, fuck it, we gon' lay 'em down. We gon' take 'em down like we Chris Brown. Yeah, nigga, pause. I was tryna get in the game, they ain't passed the ball. Fuck, I was a paw. Now I make it rain and they clapping ass. Round of applause. Fuck it, I'm a dog, I'm a big bear, you a cub. Not at all, you a fake nigga, just watching, not involved. You a pussy nigga, stay station, you ain't raw. I'm on call for this G shit. Nigga, call my phone, hey, fuck it, I'ma be quick. Nigga, you know how the streets get. Nigga, you better know that we really lit. I be flexing on these niggas, they don't stand by. Pay 600 for my kicks, yeah, I'm damn fly. Pay 600 for my kicks, just to hoop. Spent 1,000 in Versace, I ain't even want it, ooh. Nigga, what you saying? Supreme hoodie and a Bape T10. Bape draws, little bitch, I'm the man. Gucci size, Gucci belt, what the fuck? These niggas broke, stop playing. I got 5 bands on me now, I'm saying. I ain't tryna cut a check, baby, I'm saying. Only got cash, no account, I'm saying. Long as they making this shit, we gon' get it. Long as we living like this, you gon' listen. Long as I'm talking my shit, boy, I'm tripping. Long as these niggas mad at me, they gon' feel it. Long as these niggas mad at me, they gon' feel it. Yeah, these niggas wannabes, I'm who they wanna be. These niggas wannabes. Yeah, I'm who they wanna be. These niggas wannabes, I'm who they wanna be. Nigga, I'm who they wanna be. These niggas wannabes, I'm who they wanna be. Nigga, these niggas wannabes, I'm who they wanna be. These niggas wannabes. Yeah, bitch ass nigga, I would say a whole lot more shit, but it ain't no motherfucking need to. You niggas know what the fuck you doing. You niggas look in the mirror, wash your face every day. You know that shit filter with hate, nigga. Fuck you, go get a bag, nigga. Do what we doing. We blowing that shit, nigga. If you got it, blow that shit, nigga. Live your life, nigga. Stop worrying about me, nigga. Y'all dick.
Damn, bet you what you have to do them like that.
Yeah, you know I'm a problem. 8 out of 16 goblin monster. Honest to God, call me an odd one. I'm on one. Fill up the wagon, no honor, mama. Look in your eyes, it's so solemn. Falling further and further. Can you help me crawling? Know where to go, I give up, I'm a goner. Know where to roam, my ship's stuck in these waters. Father to God, can you help me call? Feeling like I'm out of control. Feeling like I'm losing my soul. Somebody pray, please, somebody save me. This ain't the way that my mom and dad raised me. Tell me in a dream, please, somebody shake me. Who would have thought it would end this crazy? Dose. 1 and 2 will turn into more. Voices. 3, 4, 5, and I'm feeling for more. About to dance with the devil today. She got me feeling some type of way. I think I might pick a fight with my wife. Get a pipe, throw my life away. Your boy's cold. Coming offshore.
All right, all right, all right. We are back here. Just about set for third quarter action. Militia is set to receive, leading 14-0. Again, the next game we're going to see tonight. For those of you that don't know, it's a doubleheader. Chiefs will be taking on the Reapers in the second game of today. They've started to make their way into the stadium. See about 4 or 5 of the Chiefs guys sitting here right below us. Some of the Reapers were making their way into the stadium a little bit earlier as well. So that should be a fun, entertaining game. Number 87, Sagan Hicks back for the kick. Kick is up. It looks like it has the distance angled towards the sideline. Skips back at the 10. Fielded there, coming down the side is number 11 for the Militia, Greg Calvert. Brings it up to about the 37-yard line, and he is slow to get up. Help to his feet there as he hobbles to the sideline. He is not putting any weight there on that leg. Holding his left leg up in the air. Not putting any weight on that. That's not a good sign. But again, welcome back to everyone who's tuning in here for the second half. You might have heard my kids. They just snuck down behind me, grab my water. It's a family affair in the booth out here on a Sunday. Melissa's going to take their first possession here. I want to say about 32-yard line. 1st and 10, leading by a score of 14-0. Militia comes to the line. They're not going to be in any big hurry here. They're going to have twins at the top, twins to the bottom. He's got a running back there on his right-hand side. That's going to protect his blind side as a left-handed quarterback there. Left tackle stands up and waves. Handoff up the middle. Skips back to the right. Extends the handout, but his knee goes down. They're going to mark him back at about the 37-yard line. It's a good carry there on 1st down. Takes half of the yards that he needs. 2nd down and 5 coming up. I need Giants to get on the board. Hey, I've been waiting for these guys to get on the board, man. This is my 3rd week out here. They've been close a few times. Just unable to get the job done there. Militia makes their way to the line. Same formation we just saw. They did switch the running back to his left-hand side here. See if he has anything to do with this play. Might be the same play, the opposite formation, the opposite way that we just saw. And it is. Nothing hidden there. Number 3 bounces around, little spin move. Driven to the floor by big number 56 yet again. Eric Hangus on the tackle. Drives the man down for a gain of 4. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1. And there's a man rolling around on the floor. I can't see the number here from where I'm at. Eric on the stop. We're going to take while this young man's down, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of semi-pro. First City Cavalry move on to 7-0 with a big win over the Wichita Diamondbacks down in Wichita yesterday. They have a big game coming up this next weekend up in Omaha, taking on the Midwest Chaos, who was 6-1. That's a team that gave them their biggest run for the money yet this year. That might be their biggest test so far this year. It's kind of a sticky, weird vibe right now for a Cavalry player and a Cavalry fan. They were undefeated at this time last year, going into this week to play the exact same opponent on an away game, the exact same situation they found themselves in last year, and this is the game that they kind of tripped and stumbled, came up short, rolled into the next week in playoffs, and lost by 1 to the Missouri Cyclones. So maybe a little deja vu feeling. Again, I've been around the Cavalry guys a little bit this year. I've been to a couple of their practices to do a little footage for them. It's a different feeling over there. They brought in some new coaches, added to their coaching staff, some experienced coaches, some well-respected coaches. They got rid of some of the guys who didn't fully buy into their program last year. So it doesn't have the same feeling as it did last year. Hopefully for those guys, they can pull it out for the city and they don't go up there and have the same outcome. But again, First City Cavalry, they head up there to take on the Midwest Chaos. The winner of this game holds sole possession of home field advantage as they roll into the playoffs. So it's kind of a sticky situation if Cavalry go up there and trip and stumble as they did last year. They'll wind up tied record with the Chaos. And I'm not exactly sure what the tiebreaker is for that league, but it'll have to roll into a tiebreaker to see who holds home field advantage for the playoffs. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Cavalry are able to go up there and represent for Kansas City and do their thing and clinch a undefeated season as they head into playoffs. Titans were on the road yesterday into Iowa. They were able to secure that win. They pull even on the season 1-1 on a very young season as well, still. The Panthers drop one to the undefeated Cyclones. Cyclones are 7-0 as well in the MFL. They're on the bracket opposite of the First City Cavalry. So it's shaping up to be, that was my pick at the beginning of the year. Once they moved the Cyclones to the other division, my pick was the Cavalry to be undefeated to face the Cyclone, who are also undefeated. That's just my pick. So we'll see as playoffs kind of roll in. Not exactly sure how the final seeding looked yesterday. Panthers, I know they're sitting even, but I'm not exactly sure what the seeding is. I want to say they play the Vipers next week. I am uncertain on who the other two teams will play going into playoffs. But I'll bring that updates as soon as I have them. I know my buddies up in the Stockman area. Omaha Stockman had their home opener this year with a big dub up there. I believe they spread them by about 60. I want to say the score was like 68-6, I think it was. Shout out to Lee Macklin if you're watching, defensive coordinator. Andrew Mathers, all you guys up there at Omaha. Keep doing what you do. Kansas City Glory, I believe that's the women's professional team in Kansas City. They were on a bye week this week. Bulldogs, Kansas City Bulldogs, they were on a bye week. They play next on June 19th against an undefeated Jackson County Stampede. Shout out for those guys. I got a few likes and follows from those guys. We'll be broadcasting their game. They're undefeated, coming off a huge victory last night as well by a victory of over 40 points. So those guys are rolling. They've knocked off some defending national champions so far this year. They're young. They've got a great organization. They're doing big things. They're looking to make themselves known immediately by jumping out on the national scale, taking on the Kansas City Bulldogs in the coveted Dog Pound. Kansas City Bulldogs are becoming off a loss to the undefeated Minneapolis Warriors, who are currently ranked number 1 in the region. Those guys have been outscoring their opponents by nearly 65 points a ball game. So Minneapolis Warriors is a huge, dominant organization that I have a lot of friends on. So shout out to those guys. I don't foresee them tripping up. I see them rolling into region, still holding that regional undefeated spot. I don't see anybody slowing them down at all. I'd be surprised if they're not in the regional championship game, and I'll be surprised if they don't end up in Florida at some point this year competing for a national title. So I talked to their coach last night. I know his big thing was national title or bust. That's the mindset they have. They put together the pieces to make it happen. It's just about going out in the field and executing and making it happen. So shout out to those guys. Punt is away. Good spiral punt. It's one of the best kicks I've seen in weeks out here. Ball lands inside the 20, takes a generous bounce, rolls to about the 10. Number 10, Mike Kizzy with a big punt, flipping field position. Shout out to the 4th down Army. I always got to shout over to my kickers. That's going to back the Giants up to about their 10-yard line. They have been fighting the field position uphill battle all day, and it's going to continue here in the third quarter. If you guys have any more score updates, you can drop them as well, but I think that just about covers the ones that I know of. Blaze take on the Warriors. 9-man squad, I believe. Blaze actually came out on top of that game. Again, I'm just rolling off the top of my head of the scores I do know. If you do want an up-to-date, in-depth feedback on a weekend roundup and a score update, tune in tomorrow. Look on Facebook for Run Left Podcast. Shout out to those guys. Good partners, good friends of mine. Run Left Podcast on Facebook. They're going to have an entire weekend roundup. Some interviews. They'll bring you some interviews. They'll bring you in-depth for about some of the teams that partner with them. They'll bring you some in-depth talks, some breaking news, some coverage of those guys. Just an overall weekend roundup. Last week was a great episode with Caleb Scott, the owner of the Insane Asylum 8-man team down in the Springfield area. That's a man who's trying to bring the pro back to semi-pro. So if you guys didn't hear that episode, I would highly suggest you go back and find Run Left Podcast for last week's episode. Tune into those guys. The second half of the show is a full interview with Caleb Scott. Those guys are doing things the right way down there in Springfield. 2nd down and 4. Run to the left, cuts back to the right. Breaks a tackle, still on his feet. Drives just about a yard and a half shy. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and a yard and a half. We're going to call that 3rd down and 2 on the carry to the right-hand side. Again, for those of you tuning in who are fans of semi-pro, if you want a weekend roundup, go to Facebook, type in Run Left, look for Run Left Podcast. They're going to bring the entire weekend roundup. They're actually doing a new thing. That's a partnership. If you're looking to get inside coverage, get your guys the notifications and the covers that they need, some stats, some breaking news, some insider stuff that you want extra coverage on a semi-pro broadcast by an up-and-coming broadcast company, go over to Run Left, send them guys a message. I'm not exactly sure what the price is to have the team-specific coverage, but they're doing it. They'll have those answers for them. Shout out to Run Left again. Go give those guys a like and a follow. They're just doing huge things right now for semi-pro. 3rd down and 2. Giants sitting in shotgun. Let's see who that's on. Was he enticed? He's going to say he was enticed. Number 58 on the offensive line, using his head, sees the man come across, steps back before he was unable to reset. I want to say that's Speedy down there on the in the Panthers helmet for the Militia. That's going to give the Giants a fresh set of downs for free. 1st down and 10 from their 24-yard line. Clock is rolling here. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left, rolling in the 3rd quarter. I was actually told we're going to have a guest speaker here in the booth here in a little bit. So we'll see if he shows up. He's a young man who has a lot of knowledge on some of these semi-pro teams. He is wrapping up his season with the Panthers and making some big changes, but I'll let him address the changes that he's looking to make by himself. I'll let him break that news to everybody who doesn't know, but let's see if he comes up here. I'll see him a little bit later. I haven't seen him yet walking around the stadium, but he told me he would be to the stadium around 5:30, so that time is coming up. Second down and 10. Mr. Andrew in the chat. Hey, that's the guy behind the scenes of Run Left. So if you were in the chat here and you want to find him on Facebook, that's the name to look up. If you're wanting to get that specific inside coverage on an up-and-coming podcast company, or if you just want a shout-out, if you want to be a sponsor, whatever it is to help this movement grow, that's the man to find. Or just go over to Run Left, send him a message. He'll get back to you. Huge hit. I'm not exactly sure what the flag is. Number 34 stands up and flexes. I want to say I missed the call. I was looking for a number 47. Jacob Pollock for the Militia comes up and delivers the hit. I think it's going to be a holding call here. Let me see if I can get you this call correctly. He points back to the left is all the sign that I saw. I'm assuming that's going to be a holding call on the Giants. That's going to back him up. 2nd down and a country mile now. 1st down is they got to get out to the 34 to get a 1st down here. been kind of a common theme with the Giants here this evening. They've been unable to get out of the shadow of their own end zone. They've been kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here. Second down here. Kind of a delayed snap. Number 7 rolls around the right-hand side. Get a little stiff arm action. A block in the back, an early whistle. Someone's holding his head. Not exactly sure what happened. I think he got poked in the eye, possibly, is what he's... Looks like he's holding himself in the eye. I did see a block. He was on the back side of the defender, but I don't necessarily think it was a block in the back. Here comes a couple flags. They're trying to sort this thing out. Clock is sitting at 7 minutes and 29 seconds left. Injury on the field does look like an eye poke, inadvertent. He's flushing his eye out here on the sideline. He's up and walking around. The flag is going to be waved off. Again, like I said, I saw him on the back side of the defender, but it didn't look like he made any real contact there that disrupted the play. I'm going to switch over here on camera duties again as my kids make their way downstairs. Again, it's been a family affair here on a Sunday. My oldest boy's off work. He's coming to pick up my youngins, so it's always a fun family affair here on a Sunday evening. Bring up a second down again. Redo that second down. A long way to go. A run to the left. He dials up his own number around the left-hand side. He's got some blockers out in front. Cuts it back in. He's down near the line to gain here. I'm going to see where the refs spot him. They're going to spot him a yard short. That was a huge gain on second down. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1. He's in manageable field position here. Clock is rolling. 6 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. I'm hearing over the radio they're going to give him the 1st down yardage there. So that was a huge gain for the Giants. 1st down around the left-hand side. Ball's at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10. Giants come to the line with an extra tight end there to the left-hand side. Single receiver to the near side. Run right back up the middle. Bumps it out to the right. Breaks a couple tackles. He's inside of a scrum there a little bit. He's going to pick up about 5 yards on 1st down. So Giants are starting to move the ball a little bit. They had a couple changes of personnel. Giants sit currently about 13 yards from doing something they haven't been unable to do all night, and that's break the 50-yard line. So baby steps. They're starting to put the little building blocks together. Hopefully they can get onto something. They're not out of this ball game by any stretch of the imagination yet. So if they can get down and get a touchdown here, it's anybody's ball game. 5 minutes left and rolling. 2nd down. Original quarterback back in the game. Here comes the snap. Kind of a mix-up on the handoff, but he's going to try to make something out of nothing. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. No more. Bringing up a 3rd down. Kind of a long pause here. There's no timeouts. The clock has been rolling for over a minute since the last play, so I'm unsure what's going on. But on the field, you got a 3rd down and 7 coming up. Giants are going to take all the time that they're allotted. Try to get this right. Got an extra tight end or a slot receiver there on the top side. Single receiver down here. 2 running backs in the backfield. Snap is back, looking right. Kind of a wobbly pass. I don't know if he had good grip on that ball when he threw it. Ball skips into the turf harmlessly, bringing up a 4th down. Giants had some momentum rolling. And again, they're going to stall out here shy of the 50-yard line. I'm hearing the call for punt in the booth. That's going to bring an end to this drive and bring out the punting unit. Number 87, Sagan Hicks, back on to do what he's been doing way too often here early tonight. But again, it's only a 14-0 ball game, so there's still a long way to go in this one. If you're a fan of Outlaws Media, if you can make the games, or if you want to message on Facebook, we do have t-shirts for sale with our logos on them. Black shirts with the white lettering, or gray shirts with the black lettering. $15 is the price on the t-shirts. Basically what that does is help us to keep bringing these games to you in the setting that we have. We're running an HD setting. Oh, that's a fake punt. He might have been the only person on the field that knew that that was a fake because his receiver had stopped, but then he was open, so kind of faked out everybody there. Faked out the camera, faked out the receiver, faked out the line. But again, $15 for an Outlaw shirt. What that does is allow us to continue to bring this coverage. Again, what we try to do is bring you a coverage in 1080 or in HD so you guys can see it clear. Brings us the broadcast and allows us to upload into a 1080 so you can bring it on a smartphone or a smart TV in 4K to get your highlights. Anything helps. You don't have to. You don't have to buy a shirt. You don't have to donate. You don't have to sponsor. You don't have to do any of that. But if you feel like it, t-shirts in the booth. I've seen a couple guys walking around. I know someone's already came up and bought a shirt, so I do need to get some out to run left. Shout out to you again if you're still in the chat. Your shirts will be there soon. We are in the process of getting some hats made. Militia now, they've been on the positive side of the starting position here all night tonight. Nothing changes here. Inside the 40-yard line, 1st 10. Looking left. Big ball up in the air. He kind of underthrows the receiver who goes up and snags it. Number 10 at the 10-yard line. Fight for possession. Guys are rolling around. Refs are in. I think they're going to give that to him. Mike Kissy climbs the ladder, says, "Give me the ball. Thank you. Goodbye. See you tomorrow." Ball's inside the 10-yard line. These guys are fired up. This is a playoff style football. Again, these guys are battling it out, getting ready to go into playoffs. Anything can happen on a Sunday. That ball was about 5 yards underthrown. Was able to make the adjustment was number 10, Mike Kissy, coming back to the ball, climbing the ladder and making the reception. Trips down here to the near side. Solo all the way to the top of the screen. I won't be shocked to see a handoff or that inside slant type post that they've been running all night. There's the handoff. Kind of runs into his own man there. Gets down inside the 5-yard line. It's going to bring up a 2nd and goal from the 4. Unable to see who was in on the tackle. But I know number 56 with the orange cleats down there, Eric King, that's a man I've been calling out all night. His fan group is sitting in front of me. They've been in the chat all night, too. We've become basically best friends here. I've seen his orange cleats in on the tackle. Clock is at 30 seconds and rolling here in the 3rd quarter. Militia is trying to go ahead and put this game to bed. Second goal from about the 4-yard line. In between, it's about 4.5. Same formation you just seen. They switch the set, trips to the top. Here comes a timeout. Oh, into the quarter, excuse me, no timeout, into the quarter. Into the fourth quarter we go, 14-0. Militia's going to take the long walk down to the other side of the field on second down. We're going to step aside with them and go try to find my water, and we'll see you on the other side as we look to wrap up this first game of the doubleheader. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. Alrighty. Rest blow the whistle. They're ready to rock and roll. 15 minutes on the clock. Down the stretch we go. Militia's trying to put this game to bed. Second and goal from the 4. Militia breaks the huddle, makes their way to the line. They're bringing somebody out. From my point of view, I see 10 down on the field. 1, 2, 3. They broke the huddle with 11. Send one off the field. They're forced to call a timeout. Timeout, Militia. Couple things uncertain there as they come out of the huddle. Again, it's a beautiful evening here. Once the sun gets behind these clouds, there's a nice steady breeze flowing. Temperature doesn't feel too bad out here. If you can make it to Center High School for the second game, I would highly suggest it. You've got the undefeated Chiefs taking on the Kansas City Reapers. It might be what many are considering the preview to the championship game. It is the championship game, I believe, from the last few years here, so might not be too much to change. I'm kind of curious still to see if both teams are going to play starters or if they're going to play some of the guys who don't necessarily get a lot of clock in preparation for the playoffs. Huge corner blitz, gets the ball away inside, tipped by number 3, ball hits the ground. Corner blitz brings a lot of pressure and confusion here off the edge. But again, if you guys can make it, 6:30 is the kickoff. You got about an hour to spare here to get to Center High School. Chiefs undefeated in the last 2 years, looking on to take on the KC Reapers. A lot of chess pieces at play here. Do they play starters and attempt to stay undefeated? Do they rest in a preparation to make a playoff run that starts next week? Do the Reapers play all their guys and try to take away the undefeated 2-year run of the Chiefs? Or do they rest their starters and keep some secrets in the bag in preparation to try to win the championship? That's the questions I'm going to see, and we're going to have all those answers to you here in about an hour and some change. You, Marquise, and me, too. I need the Giants to get on the scoreboard here. Militia settles in, third down. Looks left, pass left. Fantastic coverage, number 3. Rayvon Gilliam with the Giants. Steps inside of that slant route. Fantastic coverage, knocks the ball down. That's going to bring up a 4th and goal from the 4. Giants are holding and doing everything they can to keep Militia out of the end zone here late. 13 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock, 4th quarter and rolling. Quarterback Drew Murray comes to the sideline. So it sees his coach at about the numbers on the field, receives direction on this next play. Big 4th down play coming up. They break the huddle. Number 5, Austin McCord, kind of gets a little miscommunication there. He's going to settle down here to the near side. Twins on the near side, Twins on the far side. Snap back, looking left, looking over the middle, pass over the middle. Incomplete is the call. Giants hold on a 4th down. But now they find themselves in a familiar position. Behind the chains, behind the sticks, behind the yard position. Once again here, they've got about 96 yards to go to get back into this ball game. They don't have many yards to play with. The common theme tonight has been they've been going backwards. Hopefully that's not the case here. They don't have much room to play with. I would expect to see a heavy blitz here on the Militia's behalf. So we'll see what we got. Appreciate y'all, as always, for tuning in with us. If you don't mind hitting that subscribe button on YouTube, going to Facebook, hitting the follow and the like button over there, it helps us out a lot. So we're trying to do some big things here on YouTube, but without YouTube requires a certain amount of subscribers in order to unlock a lot of what we want to do. We want to be able to bring you everything on one stream link where we just go live and it sends a link out and everyone's in one spot. But as of right now, as you see, every time we stop a broadcast and we start a new one, it gives us a different unique code that we have to continue to share. So we miss a lot of people between game to game. But if you go onto Facebook, hit the follow button. Every time we go live, we will post the link there and you'll get the notification. So if you're a fan of Outlaws Media, if one of your teams are being covered, we're going to try to cover everything around Kansas City. I know we've got next weekend. I'm not too sure what we're doing. We've got a couple offers. We've got to see what our schedule is and see what's going on, what we can make. Titans are on the agenda. June 19th, we'll be back in the dog pound as the Kansas City Bulldogs take on the undefeated Jackson County Stampede, or the Jackson Stampede football team out of Tennessee. I know we want to get out to see the Titans. Panthers might be a possibility again. Cavalry are in a playoff push, so we want to get out and cover them as well. Yeah, there's just a lot of things going on. If you guys follow us on Facebook, you'll be the first ones to see what we're doing as we're doing it. We've got some offers to even cover some 8-man football in the area, some 9-man football. There's a lot of different moving pieces. And the easiest way for you to be up to date with what we've got going on is just tune in on that Facebook page. 2nd and 9. Here comes a snap, looking left. Pass was underthrown. Kind of an awkward angle as he rolls to the left and he tries to throw the ball with his right hand. Is number 7, Desi Thomas, QB for the Giants. I want to say that's a different quarterback. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they started the game with number 17, Joseph Seba, in control of the offense back there in the QB spot. They have since switched it up. That was number 7, Desi Thomas, who's kind of been leading the way lately. Giants are going to call their timeout at 10 minutes and 32 seconds left in the game as they try to sort things out on this 3rd down play. as the Giants kind of start breaking this huddle a little bit. Huge play coming up for them as they try to get out of the shadow of their end zone yet again. I just want to take this time again, man. I am thankful and grateful for every single one of you guys that hang out with us and choose to hang out with us on a Sunday as we bring you this double header action of MRFL football here from Center High School. We're just about a month now, I do believe, of starting of our first broadcast ever as an organization. And here we are as a month in. The business is picking up. The steam is picking up. We've actually got contacted by a minor league soccer organization that we're going to start possibly linking up with as well. So it's just a lot of moving pieces going on in our life right now surrounding the Outlaws, and it's all thanks to you guys. Without you guys tuning in, absolutely none of this is possible. And it's kind of pointless for us to sit up in the booth and kind of talk to ourselves if no one's tuning in and talking to us, and if no one's watching. Really, all this goes for naught. So appreciate you, every single one of you guys. Again, I don't care if you hang out for a minute, for an hour, for 2 games, whatever it is. I am grateful for every single one of you guys for tuning in. 4th down and 9, deep in their own territory. Giants, I believe, are walking on the punting team. 9 minutes and 30 seconds left and rolling here, 4th quarter. Number 87, Sagan Hicks, on to do his kicking duties. Doesn't have much space as he checks his feet to make sure he's not standing on the out-of-bounds line back there in the back. Snap is away. Kick is away here to the near side. Fielded cleanly at the 35, right up the middle. Attempts to hurdle. Dropped on his head by Eric Kang. His ball's out. This young man is not moving. That's why I'm not a huge fan of hurdling. He landed on his head. Is not moving. Eric Kangas comes up with the ball and is the first person to check. He seems to be up and walking under his own power. I'm not sure if that was an injury or if that was a shot to the ego a little bit, but he left his feet and went airborne. Eric Kangas was there to meet him in the air and delivered a big hit. Ball popped out. Eric snags it. They're going to give the ball to the Militia somehow. I'm confused, but I'm not the ref. Eric delivers a big hit, picks the ball up, hands it to the ref. They're going to give the ball to the Militia. The only thing I can think of is he had possession possibly when he landed, and the ground caused the fumble is the only conclusion that I can come up with. If you guys have another conclusion and you've seen that play, type it in the chat, but I'm assuming he had the ball as he went down. I'm going to go back and check the replay because we do have replay action here in the booth. Yeah, I think that's what the ref is signaling. He had possession. Either he signaled he had possession or he signaled he was a Michael Jordan. He went down the rabbit hole in the Looney Tunes. So either way, that's the call that was made. Trips, same formation we've seen all night long. Trips to the right-hand side. Single to the top. Sitting in the shotgun. Runs into his running back. Flags all over the field. Trying to see. The call into the booth from the white hat on the mic is the offense has 12 man on the field. So that's the call. He hasn't signaled it yet, but again, this league is way ahead of a lot of different leagues in the area that I've ever been around as he makes the call now. But the calls are coming. Oh, they're saying both teams had 12 on the field. It was even. Let them go. As the crowd starts laughing. Both teams wanted an extra man on the field. But again, this league here is so far beyond what a lot of these leagues on Saturdays are offering. The ref is mic'd up to a walkie-talkie on his hip, that comes directly to the booth. So before you even see him signal, he is making the call onto a walkie-talkie. You can kind of see the mic in his mouth, at least from my point of view. The call is coming directly into the booth so that we can give you the call on the field. Every now and then he kind of forgets he has a walkie-talkie, but when he does, we'll bring you that as soon as we get it. Same formation, flip sides, trips to the far side. Looking left, ball is batted down by big number 58. John Fortune, right up the middle, big palm in the air, knocks the ball away. That's textbook defense. It's going to bring up a third down, I want to say. Sticks haven't moved yet. Militia coach works his way out to the hash. Gets in the huddle himself. Ref is coming out and saying, "Not today, sir. Get out of my huddle." Nonetheless, play was delivered into the huddle. Quarterback's going to work his way here. Make sure he sorts things out. A long time being taken here between these two plays. Clock is approaching 7 minutes left here. Fourth quarter. Militia on the ball. Eating clock. Under 7 minutes we go in this closing quarter. Militia's going to come back onto the ball. Same formation from the last play. Giants are showing man coverage here. Corner blitz off the edge. Picked up cleanly. Number 24 goes up and makes the reception. Spins the ball, but let's check the flag. There might have the corner on an offsides as the call into the booth on the headset. You've seen the corner blitz coming. Got into the neutral zone too early. Touchdown is good. Touchdown, Militia. Huge play by number 24. I do have two number 24s on the rosters. So, I wrote them down earlier, but I kind of think they were wrong. I think number 24 is Rajon Larimore, climbs the ladder with the touchdown. I apologize if I'm wrong. If not, it is number 24, Mikey Holt. Either way, hopefully one of you guys see this. Delay of game? Possibly? Either delay a game call or they got the coach for being out in the huddle again. One of the two, but Militia's going to line up and go for the 2-point try. They're going to bring extra tight ends here and a bunch set to the left. Snap back, rolls to his left, looks to his left, looks back to his right under heavy pressure. Eric Kangas on a sack. That's a man I've been calling it a few times tonight. Doing his thing in the bright orange cleats. 2-point try is no good. 6 minutes and 8 seconds left on the clock. 20-0 is the score as we roll into the end of this ball game. So 6 minutes, 8 seconds left on the clock. The sun is still hiding behind the clouds, which is a good thing for all the fans down here. I look off to my left. Chiefs are down there warming up. They're getting padded up, ready to rock and roll. They're in a slick uniform this evening. It's the first time I've seen it. They've got a bright red jersey, big, bold white numbers, clean white bottoms. I don't see the Reapers as the Reapers quarterback Josh Lichter's making his way up to the booth. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Titans organization for getting their win yesterday on the road. He's coming up for his t-shirt. I'm hearing there's a couple Reapers out here. I don't see them, but I know the Chiefs are down here in the left-hand corner. They're doing their thing warming up. Giants come to the ball, 40-yard line. Again, they have yet to cross midfield here today, so hopefully late in this ball game is their first try here. Big ball over the middle, intercepted. Little one-hand grab down the sideline. He goes is number 5. That's a man we've heard his name called a few times in the chat. Number 5, Austin Accord. Kind of playing center field, if you will, as a safety. Intercepts the ball. So I had to step aside. I had the QB of the Reapers up here in the booth making an Outlaws media shirt t-shirt purchase. Shout out to him for supporting the brand. As always, man, good friend of mine up in Iowa last night with the Titans was able to secure their victory, big victory last night with the Titans, bringing themselves back to even at 1-1. Only loss was the season opener against the Omaha Stockmen, which is an absolute loaded ex-Midwest Football Alliance team, which was a stacked league to play in this area. Every year they had competition that they were going up against the Kansas City Bulldogs, so every year they recruited heavily to get better. They trained their butts off to get better. So it was something that Titans are going to have to get used to. They're not unfamiliar with the Omaha Stockmen as they used to be in the MFA. So, again, shout out Josh, man. Appreciate you helping us out, helping the movement out. Handoff up the middle, around the left, kind of rolls over a man that was down on the field. They're going to give him a gain of 1. Bringing up a 2nd and 9 as the clock continues to roll at 30 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the closing quarter. There's the woot woot from the Accord family. He was getting it done on the offensive side early. Now he's getting it done on the defensive side as I start stuttering. I'm excited for these guys, man. There's a lot going on. These guys have been fighting their butts off for the last few weeks. Been on the bad side of a couple ball games, but they're out here having fun, getting ready for some playoff football. It's always a good time for playoff football if you're a fan of Kansas City at any level. Trips to the right, single to the far. He's man coverage. I won't be shocked to see this ball go that way. McCord comes into the backfield as the motion man. Handoff right up Broadway. Stop is made after a gain of about 4 yards. I want to say that it's big number 94 on the stop, Cody Muchler. He's going to work his way off the field under his own power, kind of slow. Giants are still out here battling, man. They're showing heart. Every game that I've seen, shout out to these guys. They're very understaffed over there on that far sideline, but they've never once given up. They've never quit. They've played down to the final whistle. They don't start fights. They don't start yelling and bickering. They don't give up on each other. You don't see helmets flying. Again, there's just a different feel being around these teams in this organization than what I'm used to seeing on a Saturday and what I've been around personally on Saturdays. It's a different vibe. These guys have kind of got their cool together. It's a little less, I don't want to say competition, but these guys, they have fun with the game, and this is what it's all about. As the Giants corner falls down, making a turf angel down here. 2-minute warning is the stoppage time. We'll catch you guys on the other side of this 2-minute break. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us as always. I'm being look. That's why I sit in the booth. I don't I'm laughing at what's going on the field. I don't hear it from up here, so I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But you just outed him. Eric Kang is showing off his dancing skills down there. I don't know if you get to see those dancing skills at home, but I'm enjoying watching them here tonight. He did a little roll, a little shimmy shake, a little hips don't lie action. Clock is now rolling at 1:30 left here in this closing quarter. Militia on the ball in a game that's all but over. Looking left. Ball gets punched out. Quarterback jumps back on it, though. Huge loss of yards. It's going to bring up a 4th down and about 20. Giants, again, right on cue, are playing through the final whistle. No, right on cue here, now I see another scuffle, so I'm going to go ahead and shut up because that's the announcer's curse that you're usually used to seeing. Usually when the announcer starts talking, they get the curse on the field, and I didn't know I had that kind of power, but looky here. Looks like we're doing big things, but I'm going to step aside and let these gentlemen sort this one out. All right, after that scuffle, there was number 3's coming here in the midfield. He's leading the charge for the handshake. The ref said they've seen enough. They're going to get out of the sun. They're going to put this one to bed. 20-0 is the final. We're going to wrap it up here. We'll see you guys on the other side of this break. Don Flivick, hey, appreciate you tuning in, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to send it to halftime. Matter of fact, I'm going to end the game. I'm going to bring up the pregame on the other stream. I'm going to play your music first. See you guys there.